The first conspiracy we'll be talking about in this video is the New York Knicks frozen envelope. Back in the 80s, the NBA was at its lowest point of all time. Majority of the NBA players were on illegal substances. It was bad. Like, really, really bad. It got so bad that the NBA nearly had to cancel 6 NBA teams. What even made it worse was MJ was still a rookie, so there was basically nothing to market on. Except for one person. Patrick Ewing. At the time, there were 7 teams that each had an equal chance of getting the number 1 overall pick. The number 1 overall pick was pretty much guaranteed to be Patrick Ewing. Whichever team got Patrick Ewing would have likely gotten more tickets, more playoff runs, and a much bigger audience. So the teams that all had an equal chance were Clippers, Hawks, Kings, Pacers, Sonics, and Warriors. Oh wait, and the New York Knicks. The Knicks were arguably one of the biggest markets, not just in the NBA, but in the world. So a superstar on a big franchise equals an explosion, in a good way. So the first year the NBA draft lottery got televised, that's the exact same year Patrick Ewing got drafted. And before the NBA hit its all-time low popularity-wise, they were using ping pong balls to decide which team gets drafted at what pick. And in this draft, the draft where the New York Knicks will get the first pick, Patrick Ewing was there. They switched the format from ping pong balls to envelopes. So back then, how the draft lottery worked is that they had teams on ping pong balls, they had the team logo, whatever, ping pong balls, envelopes. They would spin this clear circle thing, they would pull a team out, and then that team gets whatever pick. But as I said before, they changed the format on the exact year Patrick Ewing got drafted. They changed it so instead of teams being on ping pong balls, they were on envelopes. The reason why they changed it from ping pong balls to envelopes is because they didn't want it bouncing around too much. But what's really suspicious is that if they didn't want the ping pong balls bouncing around too much, why didn't they just change the material from plastic to rubber or something? Right now, you're probably like, what's so suspicious about this? Well, I'm about to tell you. This is the 1985 draft lottery. You could see that the head of security places the first 3 envelopes in pretty normally, but the 4th one, red flag. He literally just bangs it against the glass wall. It's so obvious. Look at this. The head of security proceeds to spin the clear glass ball, but David Stern, the man at the stand, is directly staring at the cards. So it looks like they're making it rigged so the Knicks automatically get the first pick. And here's more proof that it could be rigged. You could see that on one of the cards, the corner is slightly bent. And that's probably no other than the card that the head of security slammed against the glass ball. And guess who got the first pick? The New York Knicks. That right there is just super suspicious. Another reason of why the NBA draft might be rigged is by this picture. It looks pretty normal. It just looks like a fan meeting Anthony Davis. But Anthony Davis is wearing a hat of the Hornets. Just 2 weeks later after this picture, Anthony Davis got drafted number 1 overall by the New Orleans Hornets. That is really suspicious. Coming off of a 7-year span where Jordan averaged 33.2 points per game, it was like Jordan was on top of the world. But then the worst possible thing happened. Michael Jordan's father got murdered. Soon after Michael Jordan's father passed away, Jordan announced his retirement from the NBA. Most people said he retired due to a lack of motivation, but this can't be true because everyone was saying he was the best player in the world. He also went on to play professional baseball right after his retirement from the NBA. But after Jordan's retirement, there are conspiracies right off the bat. Some people said he might have been a gambler. Looking back at it, it's pretty obvious he's a gambler now, but back then social media wasn't a thing. So NBA players could do all the gambling they want and it won't be posted on social media or the internet. There wasn't even internet back then, so he could do all the gambling he wants. During Jordan's gambling days, he wrote a check to a man named James Buller. Jordan wrote the check for $60,000. James Buller was actually a substance dealer. Jordan said it was just a loan. but to a substance dealer. Jordan somehow managed to make that known to the public as a gambling fee. During this time, Jordan played a lot of golf. Some people who saw them play golf said they were gambling a lot. A man who gambled with Jordan said that Jordan once owed him $1.25 million. But thankfully for Jordan, that amount of money got reduced to $300,000. But just to show how much Jordan gambled, in the 1992 Eastern Conference Finals, Jordan was seen gambling at 2 a.m. in a casino. So the NBA just had to do some investigation on Jordan's gambling situation. So a bit after the NBA did the investigating, Jordan announced his retirement. So did David Stern, the leader of the NBA at the time, give Jordan a 1-year suspension because Jordan had 2 retirements in his career. The first one was what most people think is the suspension, and the second one was the regular player retirement because Jordan went out of the NBA for 1 year, then came back the next year. So the question is, did David Stern secretly suspend Jordan for a season without tarnishing his reputation, while simultaneously giving other NBA players a chance to earn a big reputation? Who knows? By the looks of it, maybe, but I think Jordan got suspended and just went pro in baseball. Okay, this conspiracy may sound kind of dumb, but it honestly could have actually happened. Just a bit of context before I actually say this conspiracy, Marcus and Markieff Morris are identical twins. Their lives are so similar, too similar. They went to the same college, they both got picked in the same draft class, they both got picked 1 pick apart in the NBA draft, and they're both now playing for teams in Los Angeles. They even have really similar tattoos. So in the second round of the 2017 NBA playoffs, Markieff Morris sprained his ankle. In an interview, he said it was the worst pain of his life. So you would assume that he wouldn't even play for the rest of the playoffs, right? Nope. Just 2 days later, he played perfectly fine. He got 10-5 in that game, and it was like he never even got the ankle injury at all. But there's just no way you could get 10-5 in a game right after you get the worst pain of your life. The conspiracy is that Marcus Morris played as Markieff Morris in that game. This conspiracy can actually be true because in an interview, they said they did this in AAU games. One time in an AAU game, Markieff hurt his ankle and Marcus Morris was fouled out. So what they did was a quick jersey swap and no one even noticed. I'm Brun, and that's my take.